Why, hello there! How are you today? Awesome Soul here, and I am indeed back for the second in the somewhat recent return of the Robot Review series. Robo Goblin in chat says hello, and I say hello back. So, what exactly am I playing today? Well, this is the ZERGON 2.0 by VENOREX, who I think I have actually done one of their bots in the past, or at least I was considering doing one. Ooh, gotta watch out for that mortar now. But yes, as you can clearly see, it is equipped with the rather beefy setup of the shoddy and the sniper. Of course, going with the largest sizes, because why the heck not? Yes, it's definitely a very classic combination, I guess we can say, for pretty much any video game. Mainly Halo comes to mind. I used to play a lot of Halo back in the day, and that was always the go-to combination. If you controlled the sniper and the shotgun at the same time, you pretty much had the game in the bag. As a random little aside here, personally, I like to have close range weapons set to 1, and the longer range weapons set to 2. Although that is not a knock against the bot at all, it's more so what I personally like to have my buttons laid out as. Now the other thing I probably should note is that it is a sprinter mech, and not packing anything else, so it's got no backup movement, no thrusters at all either. So it's running the base movement speed. Speaking of running, let's try and... well, I thought maybe I would have had a better chance of killing that other hovercraft guy, but he ran off somewhere. Not to worry though, we're making short work of this guy. Hello. Well, at least I got the kill. You came to me. Lovely. Now, as far as the weapon layout goes, I think it's actually in a pretty good spot. You've got the rod forcing? I guess it's considered rod forcing of the rail impaler up at the top. So it basically feeds into the core of the bot. Now, that's not necessarily a good thing, nor is it really a bad thing. It's kind of feeding the damage somewhere. Really? Patented, awesome soul, terrible aim. At it again. Okay, at this point I think it's something with the game. Or maybe it's me. I don't know. I've kind of considered that maybe it's the weird delay I get when recording with fraps. Perhaps that's what it is. It's kind of throwing me off. But regardless, back to the bot. No need for excuses. Yeah, the weapon layout. I do like the fact that the ions are so far apart. So if you take one side out, you're not immediately going to lose the other side, which is quite nice. And I can kind of make out that they are rod forced as well, though I'll have to open the bot up a little later. Guessing that ghost guy is back nearby somewhere. Dead. And his ion is gone, so I'm pretty much golden. Oh, I do see the missiles coming at me. Oh well. What else do we have with this bot? Well, it is somewhat frail, and I'll cover that more once we go into the garage bay after this. But it doesn't need all the rods it has. I'm guessing this was an older build, perhaps. That's why it has the rods? Because it seems to have a lot of them, and as you know, nowadays, usually you want to keep the rods to a bare minimum. Hey, would you look at that? I actually hit something. Hooray for me. Where's our little mortar friend? Let's try and sneak up on him. As far as the movement combination goes, I'd say it is a pretty good combo. I've always liked the Sprinter Ion combo, just because it gives you very fast reaction time, so you can turn around incredibly quickly if there's somebody behind you. Where if you've got a hovercraft, it's fast, but it's usually a little bit on the slow side. Of course, though, you do have to be more careful once you get in close. That's kind of why ions are a good thing. Because, you know, you've got the huge movement part that people can strip off, and if you're closer, it's a lot easier to do so. But if you've got an incredibly powerful close-range weapon, you're most likely gonna get the drop on them before they get the drop on you. On top of that, you got the long-range burst as well, which is rather nice. Gee, I wonder what the miss counter is at right now. Probably incredibly high. I'm having a lot more luck with the ions than the rail. That's not to say the rail is a bad thing, though. The rail, like I said earlier, the rail and the shotgun combo is probably one of the most powerful. Are you? Oh, you're up there. I was gonna try and get the kill. Okay, can we get the rail shot? There's one rail shot. There's two rail shot. There is... that wasn't my kill, but still, not too shabby. So yeah, this bot doing incredibly well. Top damage on the team, regardless of all the missed rail shots. Top score? Yeah, top score, top damage. Top healing. Heck yeah. Anyways, with this, I will, as always, go into the garage bay and do a quick fly around and give some pointers. Now, obviously, while you were watching the gameplay, you really only saw the back of the bot, but the front of the bot is actually rather pretty, at least I think so. It's got the sort of avian-style mech legs going with the kind of avian-style cockpit. I quite like that, almost like a beak design, I guess we can say. Then it's got these really pronounced shoulders, which are very, very nice as well. They also add to what I was saying before, how it widens the chassis a bit more, and it keeps these guns from being shot off a little bit too easily. For example, if they were like here and here, it'd be a lot easier to fire a mortar shell or a plasma. Here, it would spread out and then take both of the guns out. Especially if you've rod forced them and all the rods are pretty much in this single cube here. That would be a bit of a problem. But going back onto the rods, that is really my one and only complaint about this bot. Other than, I guess, the joints here. They're a little bit lacking on armoring, but I do understand why. It's obviously for the looks. They are important after all. However, they are rod forced, which I actually do approve of down here. It's just, you've got all of these rods kind of lowering your possible health total. So ideally what I would do is perhaps bulk this section up a little bit. Might ruin the visuals slightly, but it would add a decent chunk of health to it as well. Because you don't need these many rods. It's more effective to have more health overall, while still keeping some rod forcing. Likewise, in here with these guns, I've noticed that you've done the same thing. You pretty much have a rod on every single connection point. Actually, you do have a rod on every single connection point. Unless there is one missing in here. You've got one there. Do we have one up here? Let's find out. Yes, you do. So, that is a single rod on every single connection point. Personally, I don't think you need that many. Perhaps keep it to maybe, I'd say, 2 or 3 rods, and the rest are connected to the chassis here. Because the thing you want to do with rod forcing is have it so it can be taken out in multiple areas. So since all of the rods are about here, if you take out this section here, then the gun that's all the way over there is going to be destroyed. But if you take out this section, and you say you only have 2 or 3 rods, then you still have some connection points because the chassis cubes here are still holding onto it. These things here, Not really needed. Other than that though, oh, you don't really need that either. I guess you can kind of stick with the design you have going up here. And personally, maybe add a little bit of color inside there. But hey, that's just me. Additionally, if you do want to get a little bit more creative, although it would use some CPU, what you could do is go in and grab yourself some of these. Create kind of like a little skirt. So attacks from the side will be a little bit more difficult to deleg you. Overall though, I would say this mech is pretty solid in the looks department as well as the combat department. Though it is a bit on the light side, and definitely getting rid of some of those rods would help considerably. But anyways guys, I will go ahead and wrap up the video here. If you would like to get this bot for yourself, check the description. You will find the name of it as well as the name of the creator. So with that, I of course have been the Awesome Soul. I thank you all so very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.